So we come to number 6 of the 18 form Qigong sequence added on to the 8 brocades. And there's another 9 form sequence, 35 moves in all, 3 forms put together. This is the 6th of the 2nd form, which is 18 form Qigong sequence. So this is number 14 of the whole 35. Again, you can do this segmentally or in the order I've put it. I put 35 in the brackets there and what number it is, optional to you. This one's called rowing a boat in the middle of the lake, or just rowing a boat. Yeah, simple as that, rowing a boat. Depends what form, they all, similar names, many different forms of Qigong. This is the Qigong movement. Basically, it's a squat with a hand motion. At the end of the day, it's a movement, okay? But within the Qigong forms and sequences, they're believed to help different meridians, electromagnetic rivers running to different organs, etc., linked with different emotions. I've gone into them, the sort of more traditional way of doing that on other videos, but this one we're going down more into the breathing really, because the motion you can cover in a minute, and that's all it is movement. So don't get too bogged down. This is meant to be like this in a specific form, etc. So I don't want to digress too much, but we're just going to go straight into the breathing, going down the Pilates route with it to start off with, then add in the yogic route path, and then the hypnotherapy style breathing, all in one, just linked to this motion. So let's start with the first part. We're going down the Pilates path, zipping up pelvic floor, scooping out your abdominals in the sort of traditional, more Pilates way, totally the opposite to the traditional Qigong way, breathing to the belly like a balloon. Again, none of them are wrong, none of them are right. That's just the way we're doing it here. So we're not digressing too much here. We've got to stick to this. So again, we're going to zip up pelvic floor, scoop out your abdominals, take your navel towards the spine, and simply breathe in through the nose and exhale through pursed lips, as if you're sort of blowing out a candle through pursed lips. And as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals and take the navels towards the spine, that's going to help you breathe into these lower lobes of lungs, the intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. It's what we call lateral thoracic breathing, because as you're doing that right now, zipping up pelvic floor, scooping out your abdominals, you will feel that breath go naturally into these lower lobes of lungs, the intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. As though someone's opening an umbrella inside your rib cage and letting go, or someone's just pushing out from inside your ribs and letting go. That lovely, free, expansive breath. Keep breathing organ deep, cell deep, even bone marrow deep into these lower lobes of lungs, the intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. That's going to help us use our pelvic floor and our corset muscle, our transverse abdominis, which are both linked together like cling film. The corset muscle, 3 layers deep, which is segmentally stabilising the spine in the most efficient manner, because we're not breathing the belly like a balloon. We're zipping up pelvic floor, scooping out your abdominals, and breathing into these lower lobes of lungs, the intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. Lovely. So with that lateral thoracic breathing, even imagine someone's wrapped a scarf tightly around your ribs and you breathe into that scarf wide and full. Just adding width to the lungs as you breathe in and length to the out breath as you exhale through pursed lips, as you're sort of blowing out a candle through pursed lips. Lovely. Now, as you do that, be safe in the knowledge that's going into the lower lobes of lungs, because there's nowhere else for the breath to go apart from into these lower lobes of lungs, the intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. These fish gills, 3D style. Keep breathing in organ deep, cell deep, even bone marrow deep into them lower lobes of lungs. And then we're going to go slightly down the yogic path slightly. We're going to come back on this a bit later. But again, we're going to close the mouth now and cause a smaller filter for the breath, a more cleansing type yogic breath in and out through the nose. And that's going to simply lengthen your whole will cycle of the breath and going to make that a lot longer, that is, okay? Right now, as you zip up pelvic floor, scoop out your abdominals. Breathe in through the nose now with the mouth closed and out through the nose. And as that lengthens the whole will cycle, that more cleansing yogic breath, you'll feel the out breath wants to fall longer than the in breath. Just simply allow that to happen. Allow that simplicity just to relax the mind as it does that. And as you now go down the more hypnotic path, we take our minds to that out breath, consciously elongate that out breath longer than the in breath. Okay, quadruple it, double it, triple it, as long as you can within your comfort zone. Okay, so you're not pushing anything, you're just elongating the out breath for as long as you like. Okay, the in breath's conscious thought, the out breath is subconscious thought. So by extending that out breath longer than the in breath, we're just encouraging sleep, digestion, rest, and relaxation, all on that lovely elongated out breath. Breathing through the nose and out through the nose as you still zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals. And take your navel towards the spine. Breathing through the nose and out through the nose. And as you elongate the out breath longer than the in breath, that's going to help all the subconscious benefits of the body. All the things you don't think about, the housekeeping properties and benefits of the body, cellular communication, organ function, and communication. That natural state of health, well-being and renewal constantly going in the body, all being benefited by just simply allowing yourself to elongate the out breath longer than the in breath. Either quadruple it, double it, triple it, it doesn't matter, just make it longer than the in breath, encouraging them restful relaxation responses and endless streams of comfort just to come into the nerve system and help everything feel even more relaxed than it already is. That lovely chemical cascade to relaxation, all found on that lovely elongated out breath. Lovely job. Now you can stick with that, or you can take this to a slightly more advanced yogic breath, Ujjayi breath, victorious breath in Sanskrit. If you can't get this, don't worry, just carry on breathing as you are. Being aware of the sound of the breath, the feel of the breath, as that breath just weaves the tapestry of relaxation in every single organ, cell, sinew of the body at will. Allow that breath just to manifest in every single square inch of the body at will. Lovely. Now again, if you want to add Ujjayi breath in, then we grip at the esophagus, or we narrow the esophagus, and that makes a smaller filter once more. So that will lengthen once more the whole will cycle of the breath, but we're elongating that out breath especially in that 7-11 hypnotic breath manner. Okay, but again, as you do Ujjayi breath, it'll sound like this. So again, we narrow the esophagus and it's keeping the shoulders down, so they will want to come up, and exhale. Then we breathe in and exhale. That lovely resonant, silky whistling Ujjayi breath, victorious breath. Now it sort of sounds like Darth Vader breath. It's like going with the mouth. So I'm just going to demonstrate. It's like going with the mouth shut. Soft, silky, whistling Ujjayi breath, that raspy sound from the back of the throat, seashore breathing. That'll give the mind something further to focus on within the breath. okay? And that's more of a focusing breath, you can hear. Okay, and that will also help us stimulate the thyroid gland, which helps with weight control, etc. Helps us build the heat more within the body, helps us fan the fire to burn all the toxins in the body. Ujjayi breath, victorious breath. If you can't get that, don't worry. Carry on breathing as you are. That's more than adequate. Okay, much more than adequate. Lovely. So, nice big gross motor skill. It's basically a squat like a lot of the Qigong sequences are. I'm going to stick to the Iyengar yoga principles of only going in as deep as you keep your knees in line with toes. Feet hip width apart or slightly wider. The knees come in line with toes. You can go down deeper if you want with a tailbone, but no lower than knees in line with toes. There's two schools of thought with it, but I'm sticking to that old school one. Again, because as you stick the tailbone out and the knees come in line with toes, your back will slightly bend a little bit, but again, allow that. Okay, as long as we're gathering, zipping up, maintaining good structure, keeping the spine neutral. Okay, so again, I'm going to demonstrate this back here. The part on the elongated exhale is going to be coming down. Okay, so really elongate that part as we ascend up, breathe in sharper. Again. So from here, feet hip width apart, okay, not Charlie Chaplin, they're facing the front. We're going to breathe in, come up, and we're going to exhale down. Nice and long, no lower than knees in line with toes. Then tailbone deep if you want to go deeper, but only as low as you keep your knees in line with toes. We breathe in, come up sharper, and exhale down. If you get there before the breath ends, carry on elongating the out breath for as long as you like. Then we breathe in, come up. You're pushing up for the heels. These are organic. They're coming up from the ground. No lower than knees in line with toes, or less if you like. Remember, exploit the range, speed and tempo and the rhythm of your body. Okay, so tap into the rhythm of your body. And you make this as easy or as hard as you like with the speed and the tempo, how low or high you go. Okay, again, as you collapse inwards, die off, think tiny waist, navel towards the spine, collapsing inwards, dying off, breathing in, coming up. We're breathing with that primal pattern of the body, exhaling down, collapsing inwards, dying off, thinking tiny waist, navel towards the spine, breathing in, coming up, pushing up for the heels. These are organic. They're coming up from the ground, and exhaling down, collapsing inwards, dying off, thinking tiny waist. Okay, and just elongate the out breath motion longer than the in breath. Rowing a boat in the middle of the lake. So as you're exhaling, feeling them ripples of relaxation expanding through the body at will. Lovely, really empty out and then breathing, come up. Just getting used to the speed and the tempo. These are organic, they're coming up from the ground. Okay, and again, as you're doing this, just tap into your rhythm of the body. Make this unique to you with the speed and the tempo. Remember, it's your union of your mind and body and your nervous system, no one else's. Okay, so again, that was rowing a boat in the middle of the lake. Lovely. So that was the 6th of the 18 form Qigong sequence. Okay, and the 14th of the whole 35, 3 forms put together. Lovely. Bang.